we speak to the many concepts humanity in general still holds about God. Beliefs and superstitious ideas regarding the nature of an invisible power took form when mankind was still very ignorant and unable to comprehend real truth. General consciousness at that time consisted primarily of fear and survival, and so these dear unawakened ones created for themselves things, ideas, or people they believed would have the power to save and smite their enemies, gods who reflected their state of consciousness. These gods were vengeful and violent, early forms of God made in man's image and likeness. Concepts of God have remained a part of man's belief system from the very beginning, when souls came to earth and forgot who they were, spiritual beings dancing and experimenting with matter, then believing themselves to be the matter, and thus creating a veil of forgetfulness. Every soul seeks someone or something that will satisfy his yearning for wholeness, because man's true essence has never forgotten who he really is, that he was created whole and complete from the substance of the divine. The search continues lifetime after lifetime, each experience bringing the soul closer to where he needs to look. It is the story of the Holy Grail, years of seeking and searching after which they came home to find it hanging in a tree. The Holy Grail is within, but it is usually only after lifetimes of searching outwardly that the exhausted seeker gives up and finally discovers it has been within him the whole time. The search has taken many forms over many lifetimes. Idolatry is one form, the belief that there is power in some object, thing, place, or person and then worshipping it. Many on earth are unaware that they are idolaters through their worship of fame, power, or money. Some still see God as a patriarchal old man in the sky wreaking vengeance on anyone who refuses to follow his strict set of rules. This is the God of the Old Testament who still reigns for many who call themselves Christian in spite of the fact that Jesus declared he was bringing a New Testament. This is the preferred God of those who love an excuse to criticize and judge others or commit acts of atrocity while staunchly defending their actions with misinterpreted biblical statements. Many in this group declare that only Jesus is divine, and worship him. This too is idolatry. Some believe God can be very loving if his rules are not breached. This is still a God made in man's image and likeness. Those feeling very New Age might even allow that this nice God could be a woman. All of you in other lives have lived these varieties of God worship. Then there are those who, in the frustration of seeking and never finding, simply decide that there is no God. There comes a time at which the spiritual adept must leave behind all the gods made in man's image and begin to understand and embrace the divine reality of all things as manifestations of the one omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent consciousness that is God. Sincere people the world over to this day still seek to find and worship the God of their own making through rites, rituals, beliefs, rules, and an arrogant sense of rightness about their personal belief system. Hundreds of journeys over hundreds of lifetimes prepare every individual to consciously awaken at some point. After lifetimes of fruitless seeking outside of themselves, the prepared soul just gives up, often simply deciding that there is no God. This is the powerful turning point, the end of searching outside of oneself, which serves to unblock and open consciousness to where everything is, within. God can never be understood or known with the human mind. There are those who believe that they do this, but God is too vast to be encompassed or understood by a limited human mind, which is why so many concepts of God were created in the first place. All of you reading these messages are ready to move beyond any remaining obsolete pie-in-the-sky God concepts you may still hold. Any remaining concepts can act to block the full realization of yourself as an expression of the one divine consciousness, which is what you have been seeking over lifetimes. You are not a little bit of God, you are the wholeness of it, for one cannot be divided. You have been accumulating the experiences and knowledge necessary to understand this, it is what you have been seeking. You are ready to clear and move beyond all accumulated doubt and false beliefs about yourself and God. Man is still being taught that he is sinful and flawed and must follow some set of rules and rituals in order to be cleansed, or he will be punished. Divine consciousness does not embody man-made concepts. It does not recognize what mankind may choose to be dreaming, for it only knows what is real. God is infinitely being what it is, and all that it is held in place forever by divine law. Ascension is about graduating into a conscious realization of oneness. it is about knowing that whatever is the truth about God, is the truth about you. It is living from a place of knowing that the one divine consciousness is manifesting itself as every person, animal, tree, and rock regardless of illusory appearances. Truth is all there is. What you see as the outer, good or bad, is a mind interpretation of some spiritual idea. Everything is spiritual, but is perceived according to each one's attained state of consciousness. There are those who see trees as living light, and that light flowing from one tree to the next, while others simply see the tree as wood to be harvested. This is a spiritual universe, peopled with sons of God, even though to the human eye, it does not seem to be that way. Your work now, is to live the truth you know in each moment. Remind yourselves that everything you see, hear, taste, touch, and smell is a concept of a spiritual reality. Enjoy the beauty of the rose, while remembering that what you see, smell, and appreciate is a concept of ever-present divine perfection and beauty, source continuously pouring itself forth in infinite variety of form. Powerful energies of light are pouring onto the planet at this time and are available to all who are receptive. You are ready to begin the next and deeper phases of the journey. It has been a pleasant journey of classes, discussion, and ritual, but it is time to go higher now. An unwillingness to move beyond some outgrown state of consciousness usually results in a wake-up call experience, not pleasant, but effective. Living truth can be difficult at first, often resulting in someone choosing to continue being a student. It seems easier when someone is telling you how to be holy. Making the shift from student to master must come at some point, whether in this life or another, but powerful energies are in place at this time to make it easier than ever before. As masters, many of you have already discovered that people are drawn to your energy, wanting to know what it is you know. Some will only be ready for spiritual baby food, while others will be ready for the meat and potatoes of truth. Always use discernment and be guided by your intuition as to which is which. Some can only handle a tiny seed of truth, something as simple as saying, "I think in a past life." A tiny seed of truth has been planted which may or may not take root, but that must never be your concern. Your concern is only that you live out from your highest attained state of consciousness, not holding yourself back in an effort to please some other person or out of doubt that what you know is really truth. Living truth is often thought of as a choice between enjoying life or spiritually evolving. This concept simply reflects world beliefs of duality and separation. The energy of joy is the closest to divine energy. Spiritual growth is not the end of having fun, doing the things you love, or being with others unless you believe it. The belief of suffering as a quality of spirituality is a lingering false belief based in ignorance and false interpretations of truth. Begin the changes you may need to make, gradually. The spiritual journey is not a race, but the loving, gentle, and gradual awareness and integration of truth. One person may recognize a need to gradually wean himself from watching or listening to constant news coverage, while another may realize that his habit of continuously seeking to accumulate more stuff is just the belief that this guarantees security. It is usually the small and seemingly unimportant habits that keep one stuck in old energy. By staying alert to whatever people, acclivities, and beliefs no longer resonate with you, you are able to move beyond them. Free will is a law, forever honored and respected regardless of whatever choices you make. All are deeply loved and admired by those on this side for the courage shown by humans each day. Never is or will there be judgment, for the choice of how you live and believe can never be taken from you. We simply remind you that the time you have been hoping for is here now, and you are ready. Your hard work over lifetimes has brought you to the brink of a new state of consciousness, should you choose it. We are the Arcturian group,